Hello, friends of Sudoku, and welcome to the New York Times Hot Sudoku. Today is March 22, 2023. I'm safely back in Copenhagen, Denmark, and I'm recording this on my brand new gaming laptop. I'm pretty sure that the audio will sound different from what I've been used to, but I just haven't been able to set it up right yet. I just wanted to make a quick recording of today's puzzle. So without further ado, let's do that. We got a couple of threes blocking across, so a 3 must go up here. And one of these two squares down here now must be a 3. A 9 blocks over and a 9 blocks down, so a 9 must go here. The 6 and the 2 block here, so a 6 and a 2 must go in two of these three squares, and therefore in these two squares in some order. And that gives me a 1, 4 and an 8 for these squares here. And we got two 1s blocking up, so this must be a 1, and these now must be a 2 and an 8. A 1, 2 and a 6 are necessary to complete column 5. There's a 1 and a 6 that both can see this square, which therefore must be a 2, and these now must be a 1 and a 6. There is a 6 in the row, making this a 1 and this a 6. We got 1 6 here and 1 6 here. They are blocking these four squares. We got a 6 blocking this square as well, so a 6 for column 9 must go here. A 5 blocks over and another 5 blocks over. A 5 therefore must go in this square. We want, we need an 8 for column 9. This 8 blocks this square. This 8 blocks this square. This 8 blocks this square. The only square left for an 8 in this column is here. Now we need a 4, 7, 9 to complete this column, and there is a 7 and a 9 blocking this square, which therefore must be a 4. And this is now a 7, 9 pair here. We got an 8 blocking down, and we got another 8 blocking up, and we got these two 8s here blocking across. So this square must be an 8. We got a 3 blocking over here. We got a 3 blocking over here. And we've got this 3 blocking down. So this square must be a 3. And these two 3s block across like so, and this 3 blocks down. Therefore, this square has got to be a 3. We need to find a 1, 2, 4, and a 7 to complete this column 3. There's a 1 and a 2 here blocking this, so this is a 4 or a 7. There's a 1 and a 2 blocking this square, so this is also a 4 or a 7, and this square and this square now have to be a remote 1, 2 pair. This square here is pretty suspicious because it has a lot of givens pointing to it. For example, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 9 are all observing this square, therefore it must be a 1. The 1 blocks up here, the 1 blocks over here, so a 1 must go in this square. These two now must be a 2 and a 7. A 7 blocks down, therefore this is a 2 and this is a 7. This 2 and this 2 now block up like so, and we have a 2 blocking across here, so a 2 must go over here. So a 4, 5 and an 8 for these squares here. There's a 5, so a 5 must go in one of these two squares and an 8 must go in one of these two squares. That leaves the 4, and I can't do anything about the 4 at this time. But for the column here, we need to find a 3, 4, and an 8. There's an 8 and a 4 blocking this square, which therefore must be a 3. Now the 3 here and the 3 here block across like so, and we got a couple of 3s blocking down, making this square here a 3. This is now a 4, 8, and this is a 4, 8. And these two squares have to be a 6 and a 7. but I can't figure out yet which of them goes where. Let's see, did any of the last actions change anything about the 4-7 here and the 4-7 here? I don't think so. Nor for the 1-2 here and the 1-2 here. So we do have a 5, I believe. Yes, the 5 blocks over here. And we got 2 5s blocking down. So a 5 must go here, I believe. Yes, and that would make this a 2. And that is helpful because the 2 now blocks up and this 2 blocks down, making this a 2. And therefore we know that this must be a 1, because we already discussed the 4-7 and 1-2 pairing in column 3, didn't we? And this now being a 4-7 and this a 4-7, that puts a 2 in this square here. Now let me look at these 4 squares. There's a 2 blocking over here and there's a 2 blocking over here. So this square is a 2. And now we got 2 2's blocking up and we got a couple of 2's here blocking over. So this square must be a 2. And we remember what the other square was, right? A 6. These are still a 4-8. And since only one digit is missing in row 5, we might as well input it, and that is a 4. And that gives me an 8 up here and a 4 here. We still need a 7 and a 9 for these 2 squares. And we need an 8, 5, and a 7 for these. Yes, there's a 5 blocking over, so this is a 5, and we have got an 8 blocking down, making this a 7, and this therefore an 8. This empty square has got to be a 7. And now we just need to find a 9 and a 5 for these squares here. There's a 5 in the column, making this a 9, and this a 5. And therefore, this square has got to be a 5. These two now must be an 8 and a 4, making these two a 9 and a 7. There's a 9 blocking up here, so the 7 must go here and the 9 here. And before I forget it, we know that this square must be a 4 now. And that makes this square 4 and this as well, making this an 8. This square also must be an 8 and this square must be a what? A 9. Now we got a 9 blocking over, another 9 blocking over, and 1 blocking down. So this is a 9. This square has got to be a 1. And so does this. This must be a 4, making this a 4. Here's just one square missing, and that might be what? A 7. And these two must be a 7 and a 6. So let's enter a 7 here because that's the last digit in this column, and a 7 must go here. This therefore must be a 6, and this must be a 6, and this must be a 9. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.